Good afternoon, Julian. You face a tough Arsenal team, and you haven't won away from the Metropolitan in the Champions League yet. The first game was a tough one at Liverpool. So, what do you think you're lacking? Is it that conviction that the coach often talks about? Good afternoon. It's more or less what you said. We are doing well, but our away games maybe have been lacking in conviction. We need to improve defensively so that teams don't score against us. We need to do better going forward and be more clinical. Of course, we want to win these games. Your last game here against Arsenal was a 1-1 draw in the Europa League, and Atletico went on to win the competition. Questions for Julian first, please. It's your first time back in England. You missed the game at Anfield against Liverpool. So what does it mean to you? Is it a big challenge to be involved in this sort of game for Atletico Madrid? Of course, it's a big setting given our opponents and the competition, but we have to focus on winning every game and picking up 3 points. With this Champions League format, you have to get points on the board because everyone is in the table together and we want to finish as high as we can and get into the best place possible. In terms of the Champions League and the team's development, are you ready to take on the role as leader and a star in this dressing room? Are you ready to lead this Atletico Madrid team and lead them to the Champions League success? Of course, we set targets, but I'm not thinking about what people say about me. I just train as hard as I can and try to help my teammates so that I can perform as well as possible, so that I can improve as a player and also as a person. So I'm here to help the team go as far as possible. You found it hard at the start of the season, and now the team seems to be doing better. What does the team need to get to 100%? And when the team is at 100%, could you be among the best in Europe? Yes, of course. We're capable of beating any team if we are at 100%. We have a great squad, but we didn't make the best start this season. The team is doing well. We've also had some injuries in the first few games, but I think we're on the up as a team and we can go toe-to-toe with anyone. We always say that big games are for big players. How do you manage the pressure? Do you feel more nerves ahead of this sort of game, and how do you see it going? Atleti will probably have fewer chances than usual and you'll need to take them. How do you see it going? Of course, things change in these sorts of games, but my approach is always the same. I will always give 100% and prepare in the same way that I always do. We always have to be clinical, and we know about our opponents and the stadium that we're playing at. with the players that we have, we're capable of putting in a great performance. Given your Premier League experience and now you're a La Liga player, what are the differences between the two? What's different about playing an English team compared with a Spanish team? Maybe there are more transitions and faster wingers in English football, but there are also lots of similarities. Football is still football. And with Arsenal, we know they're a good team that like possession there, and they're strong from set pieces. But with our strengths and ability, we can hurt them. You mentioned that the team found it hard at the start of the season and there were injuries, but now things are going better. But in many games you've been winning but haven't managed to hold out. Do you think tomorrow could be a chance to send out a message, particularly in line with the victory against Real Madrid, showing that you can replicate what you do at home away? Of course, we hope we can make that step forward and win this game away from home, but that's not what worries us. It's not that we've been playing badly, but sometimes things haven't gone our way and it's come down to fine margins. Of course, we want to improve and reduce the scope for errors, and if we can make those tweaks, we know we can win.
It's been a while since you came up against Arsenal. What have you made of their development since you were last in England, and do you think they're one of the favourites now for the Champions League?
Creo que lo entendí, pero... Bueno, Arsenal en los últimos años ha demostrado que es un gran equipo.
Arsenal have shown that they're a great team in the last few years. Of course, when I was at Manchester City, we competed for the Premier League with them until the last game. They're a very good team with brilliant players and a good coach. They've been improving so much in recent years, and they are competing in every front. Thank you for the questions for Julian. Now we will move on to Diego Simeone. It's a similar game tomorrow in terms of the atmosphere as the one against Liverpool. Arsenal are top of the league. They are unbeaten in the Champions League. Can the experience from the atmosphere against Liverpool help you tomorrow? We're facing a very good team tomorrow. And they have an incredible approach to every game. For the last 5 or 6 years under Mikel Arteta, they've had a very clear identity, and they've just been improving by bringing in better players. And they've improved in the areas where they feel they have needed to, with the players with the right qualities. And they can, and they have certainly shown their ability and their identity. We'll have to take the game in the direction where we think we can hurt them tomorrow at a wonderful stadium, and the fans will be right behind them. We know English football very well, and the tempo will certainly be fast-paced. You've played in the biggest scenarios, the biggest settings in football, and you've got good results. But of course, the Liverpool defeat came late on. tomorrow you're facing the Premier League leaders. So with the team's pathway so far, do you think there's a lack of respect for Atletico Madrid? Everyone can have their opinion in life, and everyone has their own pathway. We have ours, and we also have our identity. We know the way we play. We've also been improving based on the players' attributes, and of course we are excited to put in a strong performance and get a big win away from home in the Champions League. And of course we will play with the level of intensity required. Arsenal are a great team. As you said, they can dominate the game, and they also have speed, and they're good in transitions. What sort of game do you see tomorrow, and could the key be in midfield? I can see it being an intense game. Of course, they are very good at pressing in the opposition half, and in terms of ball recovery and transitions, they have great speed down the wing. They try to dominate the game, but with our attributes, we've been working hard. We want to take the game in the direction where we can hurt them. I'd like to ask you about Arsenal's strength from set pieces and their defence. Are you worried about that? Have you prepared especially for it? Because you've often been mentioned as a set piece specialist yourself, so have you worked on this before the game? Well, first of all, they've got very good set piece takers and lots of tall players who are good headers of the ball. So, of course, they've been working very hard on that, so that's why they've scored so many goals. We won many games this way in 2014. So, of course, it's one of the ways that they can win games. You mentioned how much you need a win away from home, particularly in the Champions League. Bearing in mind the new format of the competition and how strong Arsenal are as the Premier League leaders, the last time you faced them was a draw in the Europa League when you then went on to win the competition. So do you think a draw tomorrow would be a good result? If it's like last time, then of course I would say yes, because we played with 10 men for 86 minutes.
Good evening, Mr. Simeone. Questioning English from TV2 Norway. Alexander Sørloth struggling with playing time because of you have great strikers like Julian Alvarez and everything. How do you see Alexander Sørloth's position in the team, and what's your dialogue with him? What does he need to play more under your leadership? Thank you.
Bueno, la misma.
It's the same situation for Alexander Sørloth and other players. When there's stability in the team, it's going to be the case that some players won't play as much. It's the same thing for Mark Bubil, and I think most of the others have got to play. But that's what happens when you build a team with lots of internal competition. No two matches are the same, and as the coach, I'd have to understand which characteristics we need in terms of the best for the team. And Alexander Sørloth is in the same situation as the other 21 players here. He's excited, and when he gets a chance, whether it's for 10 minutes, 60 or the full game, he'll take it.
Hello, Diego. We spoke to Mikel Arteta this afternoon. He says that he looks up to you and is you are an inspiration to many managers. And he said that you could manage anywhere in the world with your qualities. Has managing in England and in the Premier League something that is appealing to you for the future? And have you ever been offered the chance to manage in England?
I just live from day to day. So it's interesting for a young coach, but also one with lots of experience, such as Mikel Arteta, to say that. And it's lovely to hear. But you never know what will happen in the future. I'm here today. Hope to be at the stadium tomorrow. And after that, it's just taking it from day to day.
You've been at Atletico for a very long time now. And during that time, you've had second place finishers in the league, third place finishers in the league. But of course, you've won 2 titles. And Mikel Arteta finds himself in a similar position out of Arsenal, where he's desperately trying to win an elusive title. What advice would you give to him in terms of getting his team over the line and winning a league?
Just keep doing what he's doing and don't lose that identity. Be authentic, be genuine, be respectful when you don't win. And there are ups and downs in life, and he's doing a fantastic job. Last question.
Good evening, Diego. Daniel here from Benchviews TV. You face many English teams over your decade-long career at Atletico. Do you notice anything in particular you can exploit against English teams?
A ver, de vuelta la pregunta.
You faced a lot of English teams at your time at Atletico. Is there anything you notice in English teams that you're able to exploit?
No, nada.
Vamos por finalizar la rueda de prensa. Muchas gracias.